His voice cracked through the hallway before I even reached the door. "We need to talk about the house. Now." I stopped mid-step, key still in my hand, the front door half closed behind me. My father never raised his voice, at least not at me, not like that. The tone wasn't anger, it was something colder, entitled, final. He stood in the living room, hands on his hips, as if he owned the walls around him. My dream home. 10 years of grinding through double shifts. 10 years of saying no to everything just to say yes to this one place. And he stood there like he'd been waiting. The air felt wrong, too still, too expectant. My mother wouldn't meet my eyes. My father's jaw twitched. Something had already been decided behind my back. That was the first fracture, the first hairline crack in the floor beneath my feet. I stepped inside, slowly, controlled. "What about the house?" I asked. He exhaled sharply, like he'd been rehearsing, like this moment was his. And in that small, suspended second, between his breath and his words, I understood something was coming for me. Something blunt, something calculated, something that would rearrange the landscape of everything I believed about him. He didn't ease into it. "This house," he said, gesturing around, "should go to your brother and his family. They need stability. You don't. You're alone. You don't have kids. You don't have responsibilities. You can start over anywhere." Start over? Anywhere? As if the years I carved out of myself meant nothing. As if my life was a blank space he could rewrite. My mother finally spoke, soft and trembling. "It's only fair. Your brother, he's struggling. Struggling because he burned every bridge he walked on. Struggling because he believed consequences were optional. Struggling because he always assumed someone, usually me, would cushion his fall. And here it was, the betrayal I never wanted to name. Not just favoritism, not just manipulation. A quiet truth slid through me. They didn't see what I sacrificed. They only saw what they believed they were owed. My father continued talking, something about family legacy, something about doing the right thing. But the words blurred into a low mechanical hum. Because beneath all the noise, a deeper realization surfaced. They had planned this. Together. Without hesitation. Without shame. My dream house wasn't being taken from me. It had never belonged to me in their eyes. I didn't react. That was the first thing they didn't expect. I spent the next week wearing a quiet mask. Neutral, calm, obedient. The perfect son they believed they could maneuver like a piece of furniture. But inside, something cold rearranged itself. I reviewed my mortgage agreements. I pulled bank statements. I checked transfer histories. I collected every document that proved the house was mine, not theirs, not shared, not earned together as a family, as my father so often liked to phrase things when he wanted credit for sacrifices he never made. While they talked about moving forward, I built a silent wall of facts. I traced conversations. I replayed glances. I noted every moment my father walked through the house with that assessing look, as if measuring where his son's life would be neatly removed. Not anger, not sadness, calculation. They still believed I was the soft one, the predictable one, the one who would bend. I let them believe it. Every night I stood in the doorway of my home, the home I bled for, and absorbed the truth. People don't betray you suddenly. They prepare for it. They count on you not noticing. But I noticed everything. The truth didn't arrive in an envelope or a message. It arrived in my father's voice. He cornered me at the kitchen table, pushing a set of unsigned papers across the wood. "Transfer the deed," he said. "Do the right thing. Your brother will lose everything otherwise." He didn't ask. He expected. I slid the papers back to him, calm, precise. "I know what you're doing," I said. His eyes sharpened, caught, exposed. My mother looked away, face crumpling with guilt she was too weak to act on. I placed my folder on the table and opened it slowly, letting every certified document breathe in the space between us. Mortgage statements, closing papers, ownership records, every receipt from every sacrifice they pretended never happened. My father's face drained. "You planned to take something you never built," I said, my voice barely above a breath. "And you thought I wouldn't see it." Silence cracked through the room. My father's shoulders collapsed under the weight of a truth he couldn't argue with. He whispered, "We're family." I nodded once. "We were," I said. Then I delivered the final cut. Quiet, surgical. "I've already spoken to an attorney. Any attempt to coerce a transfer will be treated as fraud and undue pressure. You'll lose more than a house." The panic in his eyes? It was the first honest thing he'd shown me in years. He tried to speak, tried to salvage authority, but the foundation was gone, and he knew it. I stood, collected the documents, and walked toward the door. "Don't come here again," I said without turning. Not a threat, a boundary he could never cross again. I sat on the back porch that night, watching the house lights flicker across the lawn. My house, my decade, my life. Their betrayal didn't break me, it clarified me. People reveal themselves when they believe you're powerless. They don't expect you to stay quiet long enough to expose the truth. I leaned back, exhaled, and let the final, brutal clarity settle. I didn't lose a family. I finally walked away from one. And for the first time in years, I felt free.